always talk about with our affiliate network is the incredible amount of bench strength we have at the Community Foundation to serve so many affiliates across the state. And so I want to take the opportunity to invite two of my colleagues on the show today to talk a little bit about what their role is, how they interact with affiliates the most, and then just maybe what they enjoy about their work here at the Community Foundation. So I'm joined by Kevin Abler and Brianne Sanchez. And so I'll start with Kevin. What's your role here and what do you do for the Community Foundation?
I'm the accounting associate for the Community Foundation in the finance department. And so I mainly work with gifts and grants out.
Yeah, and so Kevin touches every gift into the Community Foundation and touches every grant check that comes back out, whether it's the ones that you are distributing through your pass-through funds, or if you have donor advised funds, he's also facilitating those checks. So what are the things that you work on the most with affiliates, or the questions you get asked a lot?
What I work on most is usually their grants going out, and I help process their accounts payable. So I help them pay their bills.
Yeah.
And the questions I get mostly are usually about their grants, maybe if organizations are eligible and where we should mail specific things.
Yeah, so Rebecca and I can always answer questions or where things are in the process, but if you ever want to give Kevin a quick call on if a contribution was received or where maybe we're at in processing a group of checks that you're needing for your grant program, he's always available.
Yeah, happy to help with that however I can.
And then Brianne, you are newer to the Community Foundation,
That's
4
right.
months in maybe. So what's your new role here?
Sure. I am Director of Nonprofit Relations, taking over for Anna Lane. And in my role, I am working to facilitate our capacity building grant program, primarily supporting Angie, our Chief Impact Officer, on some of the community convening with our nonprofits. Having one-on-one meetings with them and representing the Community Foundation at events like Mind Matters, where we're playing a leadership role in bringing the community around an issue.
Yeah, so your job is really focused to support what we're doing here in Greater Des Moines, but you're also learning a lot about some initiatives or some challenges and opportunities our whole state is facing.
Sure.
What are maybe some ways you think you might cross over and do some of our more real work?
Absolutely. We have a lot of statewide organizations that come seeking capacity building grants. And so a lot of times, they might be working on some strategic planning, and the focus would be on developing the board. Many members are located in central Iowa, but the impact and the reach of the organization is much broader. Or they're doing some work on a specific field of interest, homelessness, kind of an issue that would have context throughout the state. And really, how can we engage our affiliates in that project and in conversation? And so there are a lot of times where I'll just send you or Rebecca a message and say, hey, FYI, this is happening. Is there anybody in this county that might want to get engaged? They're really looking to plug in here. So we're a great resource that way in collaborating.
Yeah, I really encourage all the affiliates, if you're trying to look at a challenge or opportunity in your community, we have a whole kind of knowledge bank here of information or partners that we can definitely connect you with. And Brianne's going to be the one that'll help facilitate some of those conversations.
Yeah, and nonprofit organizations we found have been so giving in letting other organizations peek behind the curtain and how are you making this work here? What can we borrow for our community? And so really helping to be the broker of that is a part of what we do.
Yeah, you bet. So again, Rebecca and I are the faces out working in your communities, but we have a big team here that works really hard to support what we do across the state. And these two people are really critical to that. So maybe just to end it, starting with you, Kevin, what's maybe your favorite thing that you do here at the Community Foundation? Why do you enjoy this work so much?
Partly what you had said earlier, that I do essentially touch every dollar that comes in and that goes out. And it's really neat to be able to work with so many different kinds of people and see what causes they care about and what they're connecting to.
Yeah, so putting you on the spot, how many transactions do you think the Community Foundation did last year?
Thousands. Thousands. It's more than single-digit thousands. A lot.
Yeah, very busy the finance day. Yeah. And Brianne, how about you?
Great. Well, I just marvel at the end of a week. Sometimes I'll reflect on all the different organizations that I met with. And, you have to go from your mindset of meeting with an organization about adaptive rowing sports 1 minute to meeting with an organization that's contemplating sort of the next phase of handling food insecurity in the community. And how there are even dots to connect between organizations that at the surface have nothing in common.
Right.
And so it's really fun for me to sort of file all that away and, like Angie says, act as a pollinator, and when the time comes, share that information with different organizations.
Yeah, and that's something definitely all of our affiliate community foundations can be doing too, is making those connections in their community. So thanks for both of you for being on the show today. If you need their contact information, it's on the website, or feel free to send Rebecca and I a note.